privatization just sounds bad to people. Okay, not you, but you're not normal. You're economically educated. You watch this show. But regular people believe that if something's privately run, it's selfish. It favors rich people, excludes the poor and the weak. And it has to cost more because the private operator takes a profit, and their profit must be our loss. Whereas if government runs it, we're all in this together, sharing the good stuff. That just makes sense to many people. But it's wrong. Let's look at just one town that privatized most of its services.
These workers fixing streets and picking up trash in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Gee, aren't they working fast? These workers work for a private company, and they get more work done in less time.
We have fewer employees than the city to the north of us, and we have exactly the same population.
The mayor, it's just a coincidence that she looks like Margaret Thatcher, was delighted to discover that private companies do a better job for less money. Of course, they want profit.
And I say, what difference does it make if the company is making a profit, but you're getting a service that costs you less?
The towns save tax money, and private companies offered better ideas.
Our traffic lights are synchronized now, so there aren't traffic jams.
Now, the city workers might eventually have figured out a way to synchronize the lights, but they didn't. It's not that they're bad people. It's just that government workers have fewer incentives to rock the boat by trying something new. The private company, by contrast, knows if they don't innovate, don't do it better, they may lose the contract and their pay. And if they do it better, other cities might hire them and they might get rich. Incentives matter. The businessman who ran for president understood that.
Instead of thinking in the federal budget, what we should cut, we should ask ourselves the opposite question.
Right. If only he weren't so wooden. He might have educated voters about the advantage of private management. You probably don't know, but today, nearly half the people government pays to fight wildfires work for private companies. The president says we need government to put out house fires, but in many parts of America, if your house catches fire, it's a private company that'll come to put it out, and the private firefighters cost less.
It comes in being efficient with what you do and watching how you spend your money.
Even police work can be privatized. Today, there are more private security people in America than police working directly for governments. Oakland, California was run to the ground by politicians, and so when the city ran out of money, it cut its police force. Crime then rose. So people in several Oakland neighborhoods hired private security and were surprised to discover it was better.
The presence of patrols seemed to reduce crime in his area by 70%.
In the 2 years prior to the patrol going live, we had about 30 burglaries. In the 4.5 months since, we've had 1 burglary and 1 attempted.
Crime is down and residents are happier. Government offers guarantees on paper and promises and speeches, but government rarely delivers. Market competition does. The markets aren't perfect, but they allow for a world where prudence is rewarded and sloth punished, a world in which people are more likely to take risks and innovate. That's a world where more people prosper. That's our show. See you next week.